Hello, welcome or welcome back to today's movement lesson, which has 4 parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and will inspire you or help you to improve your sitting, standing, walking, running and jumping. And of course, all the transitions in between those actions. So if you care to join me, or if I may invite you to join me, we will start in sitting. The lesson starts in sitting. To sit, please come to sit on the edge of a chair, because what a lesson. And just sit. So that's our starting position. And we will dive right into the first part of the lesson, which we already did in the last video, but just to review, you first sit and feel where are your feet. Are your feet close under you or far away? Where did you choose to put, or where did the feet choose to put themselves? Are you sitting more in front of your sit bones or more behind? Quite centered? How do you sit? How do you perceive your sitting? And then have your right hand on your right knee and put your left hand also on your right knee and start to slide with your right hand. Slide where? Up your upper leg or around your knee or down your right lower leg. So yes, that's our direction. Down the lower leg. So your right hand a little bit, slide your hand, caress your right leg to slide your right hand a little bit downwards. And like we did in the previous lesson, observe, do you turn your shoulder girdle to the left or do you fall forwards, and when you come up, do you press onto your right foot? So you go down a little bit and you come up again, and see how your right leg and your left hand can help you to come up to sitting again, or maybe even without your left hand. So we have, in this first part, we have a couple of movements with the right hand down the outside of your right leg, or with your left hand down the inside of your right leg, and the same on the left leg with your right hand down the inside of your left leg, or with your left hand down the outside of your left leg. So 4 ways in your own time. Please explore this movement. See how far is it comfortable, how far is it easy for you. Don't force yourself to touch down to your toes or to the floor, even though it is our intention to rub the armpit with the knee. So if you can come down all the way, so you can put your right knee in your right armpit, for example, or your left knee in your left armpit. But if it's not easy, and that's what I want you to feel now in the beginning of the lesson, if it's easy or not, and if it's not easy, don't do it. So this is the first part of today's movement sequence, review of these movements. Now we continue, we transition to the second part of this lesson, and for this, continue to sit on the chair and put your left ankle onto your right knee. So you take up your left leg and then you sit kind of cross-legged, and see how steep of an how steep of an angle is that, with your left knee pointing towards the ceiling, or is your left knee pointing towards the floor? Where is it and why is it? So you sit. It's kind of cool, huh? a cool sitting position, isn't it? Now, how do we call this? I would like to call it the monkey hole. Because in between, with your left leg, you're making a little hole here where you can see the floor. And with your left hand, with your left hand, how to say, reach into this hole and touch your right knee. So when I was a kid, we had these nature documentaries from National Geographic, and they always showed monkeys somewhere, and the monkeys always reached into some holes. So we do this, reach into the hole and see if you can, how far can you reach down with your left hand on your right knee and down your right lower leg. And do this a couple of times. So you go in and out. And what will improve this movement? Improve in the sense, how can you make it bigger? And I want to give you a tip, a hint. One is your right foot position. So if you have your right foot very far away, it might be more difficult than when you have your right foot closer underneath your knee or even underneath your seat. And secondly, it's how we think about sitting. So I always used to think that we are sitting on the sit bone, on the lowest part of the pelvis. But actually, in this situation, we are sitting also on the upper leg, on the great trochanter, on the outside of the femur. So when you think of coming further with your nose over your toes, and did I mention this? The nose over toes guy, that would be a nice name. So the nose over the toes, and when you really come forwards, when you bring your nose over your toes and you allow yourself in your thinking to sit, you allow yourself to sit on your upper leg instead of your behind. So you roll forwards to sit onto your leg. Yes? So is that a revelation? You roll onto the great trochanter, the outside of your upper leg bone, and then suddenly the monkey can reach down closer to closer towards the foot, isn't it? And it's a different position, and then suddenly the lower leg is parallel to the floor and the knee is more down when you just change how you think, that you don't sit on your behind, but you sit on your upper leg. So there we have it. And a little bit of time for the exploration. So in which do you side bend? Do you turn? Do you twist? How do you use your head when you do this movement? Do you come in and out in a curve, in a bow, or do you go straight? Do you breathe out maybe when you go down? You take your time to go down and up. When you come up, you press with your right foot against the floor to come up. So your right foot helps you to erect your spine again. So your upper body is connected through your right leg, right foot down to the floor, and then the foot can push. You push up. Many details in this setup. Many things to explore, and little by little improve this movement of reaching down with your left hand, which changes a lot, because now when you bring down your foot again, so bring down your left foot to the floor, it might feel like a different leg. It's still your leg, of course, but it might feel like, oh, it was just given to you, huh? It feels quite different. Or when you get up, stand up, so maybe standing up feels quite funny because the leg feels like it has been in service, freshly fixed up. So yes. Okay, now the right leg. So put your right ankle on your left knee. Here it's the same, or maybe it's worse. How is the quality, the situation of your right leg? And you just start by sitting, placing your left foot. Find how a position for your left foot, position for your right foot. Oh, and then there's the hole. Now the right hand is the monkey arm, and reach into the hole that is formed by your right leg to touch your left knee. Yes, or do this a couple of times. And observe in your sensing, sense where you sit on your right buttock and how you can sit more on your right upper leg. And the more you sit on your right upper leg, the more you roll forwards, the more you allow your pelvis to roll forwards. It's a bit of an arch, not just a rounding, but an arch. Also, the more you roll forwards, the more the lower leg can become parallel to the floor, and the deeper you will be able to reach with your right hand. But of course, the shoulder girdle can turn. Yes, the head can turn or not. The eyes can look. You can breathe out to deflate the balloon that are your lungs and your chest and make it more flexible to go down. And press up with your left foot, so you don't have all the pressure in your lower back, but you use your whole body to connect and to work together. And see, can you slide down on the back side of your lower leg? Or can you easier slide down on the inside of your lower leg or around your lower leg? How far can you stick your right arm into this hole? Can you relax into it? Can you just, like a Baba Papa? Did you see this cartoon as a child? These cartoon figures that could change their shape. Down and up again. And then at some point, of course, put your right leg down again and see, wow, how is your right leg aligned now? How do you feel in your hip joints? Or maybe you want to come up to standing and see, oh, the transition from sitting to standing, how that works, where you put your feet. Then the third part of today's lesson starts again with your left ankle on your right knee. And the task at hand is to lift your left lower leg away from your right knee, and you try to keep your left lower leg parallel to the floor. So first of all, what is a functional way, a good way to hold a leg? How would you hold your left leg? How does the monkey hold a leg? How do you hold a baby safe and secure? How do you lift something precious and then lift it gently a little bit up? And a couple of things you might notice. One is your shoulders traveling to the ceiling. So are there other ways to lift, to use your arms than to sink your ears in between your shoulders? And also, do you have to lean backwards when you lift your lower leg? Or can you lean forwards while you lift your lower leg? And so we explore these questions. How do you use your arms? And can you lean forward while you lift your lower leg off your right knee? And to explore this, you could do a little bit of the left leg to the left and to the right, or forwards and backwards, little circles. You can explore yourself, how you hold yourself, how you hold your leg, how you use yourself, with the intention to be able to lift your leg and at the same time fold forwards, come forwards with your upper body. So you could either start by leaning back and then bring your foot up and down, or by leaning forwards, that's another strategy, and be leaning forwards, and then try to lift your leg, and little by little get to know the situation with these little tricks until you're more and more proficient in doing this. But we need to move on to the other side. So first, bring your left leg down again. See how it feels now. And then, yes, how does your left leg, how did your sensing, your perception change of your leg? How does the leg change to function? And then bring your right ankle onto your left knee. Ease into this position again. Allow yourself a little bit of time to adjust to this position, and then the task is to nicely hold to your right lower leg and start to lift it and be able to, just like we did with the monkey reaching, where you were able to roll your pelvis forwards actually. So it's not the movement is not all in the lower back, but it's in your pelvis. So there's something with your sit bones, they travel backwards while you come forwards. You're lengthening your hamstrings actually while you come forwards. I leave it to you for a minute or two to explore this with all that I have said already, to lift your right lower leg, to move your right lower leg, and explore how can you do this in a way that you're happy with. All right, then we bring your right foot down to the floor again. See how that feels now, or if you care to come to stand up, see how it feels, how you feel in standing now, how all of your parts start to come together. And then the fourth part, the last part of today's movement sequence of today's lesson. Sit again at the edge of the chair, because what a lesson. And then have your left hand on your left knee, and with your right hand, grab with your right hand your left foot, lift the left foot and stand your left foot on the chair. So your right foot stays on the floor and your left foot onto the chair. And how do you have to move? How do you have to side bend? What do you have to do to be able to have your left hand on your left knee, and with the right hand grab the sole or the big toe or something of your left foot, and then bring your left foot to stand on the chair. Yes, and find a spot where the left foot really is standing. Yes, cool position again. So ease into this position of having the left foot stand on the chair, And we do just a little exploration here with the left knee a little bit forwards and backwards and left and right. You can do little circles with the left knee, clockwise, counterclockwise, to ease into this position, to start to feel more and more comfortable in this position. And also bring down the foot again by holding with your left hand the left knee and with your right hand the left foot. Bring down your foot again to the floor and again up a couple of times so you start to get used to this, wow, realignment movement. So the leg becomes aware of its existence and its possibilities and its purpose in life. Yes, well integrated. I like best the part when I just sit with the foot on the chair, feels so nice, unusual position. But if you sense into yourself, you can start to realize how all these 4 parts of this lesson connect and how they build upon each other. Yes, and then, of course, to end this lesson, or to end the 4th part of this lesson, the same with the right foot. So with your right hand on your right knee and with your left hand on your right foot. And how far do you have to swing to the left? Yes, large curve to be able to bring your right foot to stand, the right heel at least, to stand quite securely on the chair. And here also the right knee, a little bit to the right, to the left, forwards, backwards, circles, clockwise, counterclockwise, just do side bending, of course, twist, using the head, using the arm, using everything you got. Where do you stand your left foot? How can your left foot help you with that? How can you make yourself comfortable in this position? Explore this position. You could also change over a couple of times to try to bring your left foot on the chair, the right foot on the chair, play with it a little bit, start to get yourself into proficiency, make this movement your own. And then at some point have both feet standing again. Just feel how you sit now. How awake you feel. How mindful, how aware of your legs, of the possibilities of your legs, your ability to sense how much of a curve you need, all these details. Also, we could try again the first part to just slide down the hands to bring the knees into the armpits or your upper body in between your legs. We are at the end of the lesson, so please position your feet in a meaningful location so you can do all the things you need to do to come up to stand again. And feel how you're standing. How your legs are now aligned. All right, so I hope this lesson was interesting to you. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed teaching it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support, and see you in the next video.